Hello, everyone. My name is Milan Sharma, and I have some breaking news to share with you. This is literally breaking. And today at February 3rd, 2017, at 7:46 p.m., or it's about around 20 minutes ago, Seattle judge issues nationwide restraining order on Trump's refugee ban. This is according to the Washington Examiner. So it reads, a federal judge in Seattle. Here, I'll put up I'll put it up so you guys can read it. A federal judge in Seattle on Friday ordered a temporary nationwide restraining order, to halt President Trump's executive order that bans refugees and asylum seekers from 7 countries in the Middle East and North Africa. U.S. District Judge James Robart ruled in favor of a lawsuit by Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson, who was taking action on certain provisions in the week-old executive action. Robart's restraining order is granted on a national level and will take effect immediately, according to multiple reports. So, this is according to here. I checked, it said on the Independent as well. And this is not fake news. The Washington Examiner and the Independent are reputable sources. So, what does this say for all those people that said, oh, you have to vote for Hillary Clinton because Trump's going to ban all Muslims. Trump's going to build a giant wall. Trump's going to be bros with Russia, which I'll get to that later. But I said from the beginning that the Muslim ban would never pass Congress. Attorney General or nominee for Attorney General Jeff Sessions said he had nothing to do with this decision. Trump has the lowest approval rating among any president ever elected, and Trump will most likely bring down popularity for Republicans. He was only going to implode the Republican Party. Him and the Republican establishment are against each other. John McCain is totally against his CIA pick, who wants to torture, who wants to implement torture, waterboarding, for example. What else? He wants to actually be more, have better relations with Russia, which I find, because I don't think we should have another Cold War or resurgence of a nuclear arms race like we did 40, 50 years ago. So he's not the traditional Republican. He repealed, yes, he's going to help businesses. That's in his nature. I just saw a report according to IB Times, I believe, that in Congress they're already letting ExxonMobil, this bill would allow ExxonMobil to receive money from foreign governments without telling the SEC. So that's not good, obviously. But you have to take into account, Democrats play Trump well. They can retake the Senate most likely in 2018. But they need to stand up for progressive policies. Like earlier in the month, in January, 14 Democratic senators voted against a bill that would make affordable medicines, affordable drugs to the United States. Now, Republicans, of course, are going to vote against this because they believe the government shouldn't do anything to help poor people, or hardly do anything at all. They don't have any answer for health care. They want to get rid of Obamacare. Obamacare is a mess. The premiums are skyrocketing. They don't have a replacement plan. Do you know why? Because Obamacare originated from a conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation. Pharmaceutical lobbyists basically wrote out the provisions in the Affordable Care Act. That's why there isn't a public option in the Affordable Care Act. That's why there isn't any importation of drugs in the Affordable Care Act. So, Democrats need to stand for something. 13 Republicans voted for the Klobuchar amendment, which would have imported drugs, affordable drugs, to the United States. Democrats are the ones that killed the bill. If Democrats want to get anything done that's popular with the United States, they have to get it done. Most progressive policies are popular in the United States. For example, over half the country wants a single-payer healthcare system. Over 70% of the United States wants to import affordable drugs from Canada. If people want a public option, 90% want a universal background check, which again, Republicans on Capitol Hill refuse to establish, even though 90% of the American people want a universal background check. So, again, this is a huge win. Seattle judge issuing a nationwide restraining order on Trump's refugee ban. This is a huge win. Don't let me out. This is a huge win. I knew that this ban wouldn't last that long because it was very unpopular. Yes, according to one poll, over 50% of the American people, 29% of the American people support it, while 44% disapprove it. But Democrats have the media on their side, at least the corporate media. The corporate media won't cover the climate change epidemic. They won't cover income inequality. They won't cover the protesters getting mazed and water spraying at them in freezing temperatures. They won't cover those things. But one thing they will cover is anything against Donald Trump. They will cover that because they are against Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton was the establishment pick. Hillary Clinton was the establishment pick. She had everything on her side. That's one of the reasons why she won the Democratic primaries. She had the media on her side. She had the superdelegates on her side. She had most of the representatives on her side. Every single woman, Democratic woman in the Senate, except for Elizabeth Warren, was on her side. And Elizabeth Warren didn't endorse Sanders or Hillary Clinton, so she was basically out of the game altogether. And one congresswoman named Tulsi Gabbard actually came out to support Bernie Sanders. So that was a good sign. That was a very good sign. If you don't know her, she's a very strong progressive. She went into Syria. She talked with Assad. And the people in Syria, and there's all this propaganda that, oh, the Syrian government, the people, the civilians in Syria despise Bashar al-Assad. And you know what? In the latest elections, over 3/4 of them showed up to vote, and he got over 80% of the vote. And most of the people do support him. And think about it, Syria is the only secular government left. Okay? And last time I checked, Assad isn't threatening us in any way. So we're basically arming rebels. The CIA is arming rebels, and the rebels are affiliated with ISIS, affiliated with Al-Qaeda, affiliated with Al-Nusra, all these terrorist groups are affiliated with them in some way. And they want to overthrow the government. They think, oh, that's a great idea. What happened when 1980s? What happened to that? When we funded the Mujahideen, we got the Russians out. Everyone's celebrating, yay, the Russians are out. Yay, 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 yay. And then, oh, wait. what did happen? It's peace, prosperity, a great life for the people? No, they had all the Mujahideen had all of American weapons, and they used them against people, innocent people. They used them against us in 9/11. Remember that? So basically, I want to mention one thing. So when Tulsi Gabbard went into Syria, she actually met with the people there and said, and asked them, and the people actually told her, why is the United States supporting Al Qaeda? Why is the United States supporting ISIS? They asked. That is what they asked to her, and she didn't have an answer. And that's why she's proposing a bill in the Senate. She's a congresswoman. She's proposing a bill, and it's basically a Stop Arming Terrorists Act. And you'd think that this should be a unanimous bill, right? I mean, the most crazy people would have to vote against this bill. I mean, funding terrorists, funding your enemies should be or disfunding your enemies should be a bipartisan resolution. Not the case, because Saudi Arabia has massive funds in the United States and for our economy, and we sell them our weapons. We receive we receive like billions of dollars from them. It's all about money. They keep the money flowing. It's all about the money. And the defense contractors are the only one winning in this. They're the ones that. So, I'll give you an example. When Obama pulled out the troops in Iraq, for most of the troops, and a lot of people were happy with that. But then he increased drone strikes by over 6 times, or about 10 times more than George W. Bush, the war hawk, the vice president who waged war in Iraq, George W. Bush. So he has more airstrikes. He bombed more countries than George W. Bush. He's bombing 7 countries right now. Well, now Trump's president, and sadly, that girl in Yemen got killed from a raid that was issued by Trump. But people think, oh, it's horrible because they showed this little girl, which of course is horrible. It's sickening. But then President Barack Obama killed her father, killed her brothers, and the reason for her father's killing was because he was linked to terrorists. But system in the United States, and it's called due process. It's called and in the Constitution, every American citizen has the right to a speedy trial, a fair trial. He did not have that right. He was killed immediately. So to justify how this 8-year-old girl was killed, or somehow a threat to the United States, is abominable and sickening. There's no ethical solution to answer the question about why that raid was necessary. And this was all brought to you by Barack Obama. Barack Obama, he started these airstrikes, and he's the one that got rid of habeas corpus, which, if you don't know what it is, it basically, if the police or the military detain you, they need to have a charge on you. They can't just detain you for no reason. Well, that's gone. Now they can detain you for as long as they like. It's basically like Guantanamo Bay. You can detain there and stay there as long as you want. And which Obama failed to close, even though he campaigned on that. So, oh yeah, and he also won the Nobel Peace Prize, where it was estimated that hundreds of innocent civilians got killed from his drone strikes, and he still won the Nobel Peace Prize. So, thanks guys for listening. I know this is a longer video segment that I'd like to have, but You can follow me on Twitter. The link will be below. You can read my latest publication via Medium. If you know what that is, it's basically a publication site where you can type in anything you want. It's really, really useful and handy, user-friendly. So just take a look at that article. And again, the breaking news today: Seattle judge issues nationwide restraining order on Trump's refugee ban. So this is nationwide. So it's done for now. It's a restraining order. So we'll see what happens. And I'll put this article in the link below. And thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it.